Peace and love. This is Sky Juice coming to you live and direct from the beautiful island of Puerto Rico. And today I want to talk to my husband, Mr. Steve Graham, who is a real estate coach and does a stay-at-home real estate business that I find really fascinating. I'm actually very interested in joining and learning about this. But for other folks out there who are interested in getting out of the rat race, I think it would be important to hear how this can work because, as you know, most of the millionaires on the planet have created their wealth through real estate. Most people who are millionaires have created their wealth through real estate. So real estate is one of the most profitable ventures one can ever be a part of. So that's really exciting. And then to learn that you can actually do this from your own laptop and phone at home is even better. So I want to introduce to you Mr. Stephen Graham. How are you doing this morning?
Yeah, I'm doing very well.
Thank you for being a part of my wonderful life.
Absolutely.
And I guess what I would like to achieve with this call is I want folks who have found me out there on the World Wide Web to get an intro onto how they can do what you do from home with their families, either part-time or full-time. And so basically just jump right into it. What it is exactly that you do? What do you call it and what is it?
Well, specifically, we call it, real estate investing. My avenue of real estate investing initially, starting out, is called wholesaling, okay? And more specifically, since I am doing it from home, from Puerto Rico, it's virtual wholesaling because everything I do in the States. So that's, in speaking in real estate investing, which we'll get into a little later, there are more than 15 or 20 different ways that you basically can invest in or avenues or strategies for real estate investing.
Okay. So what type of person would be interested in doing real estate investing or wholesaling or what have you? Like what would be the right person to do this?
Okay, well, like I said, which does speak to strategy as well, but just put it in a word, it's going to be the person that is interested in being an entrepreneur, specifically because, we have realtors and all, they're in real estate, okay, they're not necessarily investors, but like I said, they have a job in real estate. Investors specifically are those who are looking to, they're looking to see a return on their investment, obviously, as an investor, and they are not afraid of taking risk, okay, more than willing, and they're really looking, depending on your, once again, I'll go back to strategy and your end game, which we'll get into later as well. It's going to be a person that is consistent, determined, and really looking for financial freedom.
Okay. And so what type of time investment would be required to build this up from not start to finish, but from beginner to okay, now I'm in the business. What type of, how long do I have to work on a daily basis or a weekly basis to get something like this going?
Valid question. Now, that's going to depend on the person, okay? But just to kind of give the bare, or let's just say the general answer on that, it depends on how much or how the person, their ability to learn, because just like in anything, nowadays in being an entrepreneur, knowledge is your wealth. So it's how you obtain knowledge and are able to access that knowledge into action, you know. So personally, when I initially started in 12 or 13, 2013, quote unquote officially, but my whole beginning had to do with learning, and I quote unquote am self-taught and all online, meaning podcasts, things like that, books, e-books. It was about accelerating the learning curve. So, you know, it's something that I wanted to do and take action on. So let's just say I literally spent sometimes 6 or 8 hours of my time online was ingesting and just devouring everything I could in real estate investing. Okay. And like I said, just in saying that, it was something, you know, I will have to connect the passion to it because it's something I'm passionate about. I do have a background. I have worked in sales before, and it was something that I really took to, and it was lucrative for me. So it's really, you know, combining some of those skills. So depending on how you learn and your what skill set you already come with, I could say realistically it could be as little as, you know, maybe 3 weeks to a month to really actually, you know, you getting started with some level of confidence, and to as long as possible. But like I said, it's going to be a constant process of learning.
Gotcha. And I get it when you talk about the passion part, because anything I'm into, I'm all in. Like, I'm on YouTube. I'm looking for people who are also doing it, find out how they're doing it, what they're doing. And so a lot of this is based on self-motivation, I think, because time is infinite. So really, in terms of time, you know, you're constantly building. So I guess, you know, time is relative. Folks kind of want to know, well, how long is this going to take? Because people go to universities for, you know, 5, 6, 8 years to get their masters and their get the information they need to become proficient at what they're trying to do. But, you know, we live in an information age, so it's right here in the palm of our hands. So I think the time is actually smaller than that kind of thinking. But anyway, okay, so in terms of the legalities of doing real estate, what type of licensing or legal processes would someone need to do to get started? Like, where do they begin in terms of, do they have to go down and file for something, or how does that work?
Okay, well, initially, absolutely, you don't need any licensing or anything at all, okay? When you think of real estate license, obviously you're thinking Realtor, which can be a help in this, but let's just say it's definitely not necessary. And a lot of times most realtors aren't investors, you know. I mean, basically, they're pretty much salespeople. And depending on the realtor, some are very good, some aren't. Licensing, going back to this, isn't required. I would say at some point when you get into this, which I do have, you would want to get an LLC or some type of incorporation, legal protection, of course. There is a point that, you know, you would want to also, if you're handling it yourself, depending on how your business grows, and to one point, you know, you will want to look at also a real estate attorney as well as an accountant. But that goes into systems, and really, you know, that can be much further down the line, you know. But just directly answering your question, you don't need anything to get started, because getting into
so what protects you?
Well, what actually protects you is your level of knowledge or confidence, because where you're protected, and I'll speak about wholesaling specifically, what protects you is your contracts, okay? And in the wording of your contract, which may or may not be, like I said, generally, I will say that, you want to get documents that are approved by real estate attorneys in your state and things like that, or that have been. But as they say, as you said, this is the information age. Everything is already there, okay? You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So don't think that, you have to go to an attorney to get the document, or have a document, you draw it up and then have an attorney review it and this, that, and the other. A lot of documents are there for every state you can think of, okay? And what protects you is the wording in the document. Now, obviously, we live in a society that thrives in a very, litigation happens all the time. So, I'm not going to sit here and say that nothing can ever happen. You know what I mean? Let's be for real. But what I'm saying is there's so many avenues that even a novice, you're working along with usually experienced investors, okay? You have experienced title attorneys and title companies, and they basically carry the ball. It's your job, as far as, like you said, as you obtain knowledge, to guide everyone through the process where this close happens and you get your profit, you make your money.
Wonderful. So when you say investor, the first thing I think of is, okay, I'm going to need to have $50,000 in the bank ready to buy a piece of property. Is that what we're talking about?
It could be, but no, not necessarily. The thing is obviously I've started with no money, and obviously, for a lot of people that would be the best case scenario. There are people that they have money in their 401ks and things like that as well. When you start with no money, obviously it's going to be a harder thing, and when I say harder, meaning that you're going to have to invest, okay, if not money, it's going to be, as you said, time and what they call sweat equity. So that 8 to 10 hours that I was, 6, 8, 10 hours I was spending was my sweat equity. That was, there's some people that, they spent thousands of dollars going to conferences and, sort of coaching programs and different things like that. Years ago you had Carlton Sheets, which is known in the industry. These infomercials used to come on late at night, and you would buy his cassettes, and learn how to buy property with no money down. Is that real? Yes, it's real. You can, quote unquote, but you can definitely do deals without money out of your own pocket. But you will, once again, that's where knowledge becomes your wealth, because you have to know what you're doing, have to know what you're talking about to, be a part of that or to make that happen.
Okay. So what are you offering?
Well, specifically, along with what you do, within this, getting out of the rat race, so to speak, what I'm offering is it's going to be initially the one-on-one, like you said, the consultation, which will go through where you are right now, and I'll go through specific strategies or different ways, these different ways I mentioned, of real estate investing. As I said, you have people that they're coming from backgrounds of being an employee, with quote unquote, or looking for job security. So there's a transition from that to becoming an entrepreneur. What it's going to take as far as investing time and money, because like I said, money you will make, time you cannot get back. So really you have to make the best of your time. So we're going to look into that as well in this consultation that we have. And basically from there, like I said, I would really see if real estate is something that, everybody, believe me, a lot of people come into this industry and a lot of people want to make money. But, a lot of people come and go because they don't have the resilience. if they're not paid immediately, if they don't see immediate return, things like that. Going back to what you said earlier, I mean, people go to college, for their undergraduate and postgraduate education for, 4, 8, 12 years, sometimes. And it is, you really have to be in a position, that, that immediate return, that get rich quick is not, it's not a reality in most cases, and that's with most things with entrepreneurs. You're really putting in that work, and you have to be willing to, very willing to, dedicate yourself to where you want to be, and we'll discuss that as well. Like I said, the end game, it will fit. I mean, it definitely fits that right person, the person with that personality and the passion that really wants to get out the rat race and really looks at real estate as their vehicle. It's an excellent vehicle to do so, as well as building a legacy for your future generations as well.
Wonderful. So basically you're offering a coaching program for folks who are interested in learning about wholesale real estate.
There, I'm just speaking about wholesaling. There is, as I said, once we do the consultation, there is other ways of investing, just like I said, rehabs, or they call property flipping, all right? That would be a part of it too. In other words, we would go into each and every one. We're going to cover private lending or obtaining money, loans, regardless of your credit, okay? Because like I said, we're not doing this conventional. It's not a conventional going to the bank, getting a loan to, seed or to start your investing business. I mean, like I said, people have IRAs, 401ks, they have stocks sitting, and they're making and savings that are pushing out maybe 2%, luckily, if you're lucky, maybe, 3, 4% that you're getting out of these things. And when you're looking at an ROI or return of investment, a lot of times on real estate, I mean, you're talking, on the low end, 8, 10, 12%. And a lot of times as high as, we're talking about if the strategy is a buy and hold, like people who have rentals, you're really looking at, upwards of 18, 20% at times as well.
Okay. So, what else, if I was interested right now in at least inquiring about how this works, what is my next step?
Okay. Your next step is obviously to contact you. Your program is going to be the conduit, but the thing is that if you have any questions specifically, like I said, about the program, you can contact me, Stephen Graham. You can call me at 215-346-6511, okay? Or you could email me. It's going to be SpotWorks, that's with an S, all one word, SpotWorksTC, all one word, @gmail.com, okay? And as I said before, we're overall, this is connected with your basically obtaining your freedom because, this is the age of the entrepreneur. This is the information age. And this is not, generally it should not be, especially people with families listening to this should not be about just you, the individual. This is about future generations also, because we're not going to be going back to the old way of just obtaining a college education, and that is going to be your way automatic financial freedom, because we see that's not the reality.
Gotcha. I'm with you on that. So everyone, I hope you got some tidbits on how you can become your own real estate investor, working from home and selling property nationwide. If you are interested in participating in Stephen's coaching program, then please contact either one of us, and I'm sure he is going to be offering a free consultation so that he can see where it is that you are and what it's going to take to get you where you need to be. Am I right?
And Absolutely, and if they're joining your program already, it's going to be included anyway. They're going to get a free consultation. So,
Okay.
like I said, if you're in Sky's program already, just she'll have the information there where you can contact me, and we will have the 20-minute consultation. Yep.
Okay. So anyway, have a great day, y'all. Let me know what you guys think, and just get in touch with us so that we can get you to where you want to be, so you can live your life. Live it anywhere you want to live. I don't think people should limit themselves to that one city that they grew up in, even though that's fine. But if you want to travel and get on a plane and get on a boat and see the world, you should be able to do that and make your money too, and be with your family and make it happen. So talk to you guys later, and thank you again.